Well, welcome to a misty, overcast Thursday evening in New York City. Well, the weather will certainly not dampen the joy of the New York Knicks fans who watched their team make franchise history in Game 1. It was a comeback for the ages. And Madison Square Garden will be hopping once again. The building called the world's most famous arena, the site for Game 2. Jalen Brunson led the charge after the Knicks fell behind by 22 points. Another playoff clinic from the Knicks captain. James Harden struggled in Game 1, but the future Hall of Famer ready to bounce back in a building where he has often shined. It's that time once again. The Cavaliers and the Knickerbockers ready to go again as we welcome you to the Eastern Conference Finals presented by Duncan. In the Western Conference last night, the Thunder evened things up. The Cavaliers hoping to do the same here this evening. And good evening, everyone. Along with Richard Jefferson and Tim Legler, Mike Brain on hand, Lisa Salters-Willis as well. One of the most compelling and enjoyable parts of the playoffs is the response. After a game in the playoffs, how does a winning team respond? How does a losing team respond? Especially after the wild game we had the other night. All right, Richard, for the Knicks, again, come back for the ages for them. But for a good portion of the game, they played poorly until Jalen Brunson came to the rescue.
Well, Jalen Brunson showed why he's one of the best players in the entire league. It was so impressive, as you said. Jalen Brunson put on a show for the ages inside of Madison Square Garden. Since joining the Knicks, he has scored more points in fourth and overtime than any other player in the league, and it was full display, attacking all over the floor, hunting his shot. James Harden was tasked with guarding him during that stretch, and Brunson went 7 for 8 with him as a primary defender. But it wasn't just Jalen Brunson. The entire Knicks team caught fire in that fourth quarter, leading to that outstanding comeback.
It was certainly a stunning result in Game 1. And meanwhile, for the Cavaliers, this is a team that has shown resiliency legs all playoffs, all season long, actually. But this was an epic collapse. How did they bounce back?
Well, Mike, so much of the narrative coming out of Game 1 was about that Cavs defense and what happened to them in that fourth quarter and overtime. The truth of the matter is the offense failed them. They could have bailed them out and still won this game, but you see what happened. Stagnant. This is not the way they were playing for the previous 30 minutes prior to that run by the Knicks. Too much isolation basketball. It wasn't moving. Guys were not making open shots. And when you take a look at James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, the Stars have to be better if they get into that position again. You've got to win a road game if you're the Cavs to win this series. They had one, they let it go. Let's see what the bounce back is in Game 2. And those are the numbers I'm talking about. During that Knicks run, just 3 points on 1 for 10 from their stars.
They're not the only keys for the Cavaliers. Always a key for Cleveland. There's the very talented 24-year-old Evan Mobley in his first conference final game the other night. Mobley had 15 points, 14 rebounds, and 3 blocked shots. They'll need more of that tonight. Starting lineups opening tip for Game 2 just ahead here in New York City.
The NBA Eastern Conference Finals are presented by Duncan. When your morning tip off with coffee and breakfast at Duncan. And empowered by Google.
Stories told here endure. It's New York, a town crazy for basketball.
This is a hungry Knicks fan base.
The Mecca, and the basketball world is better when it's sushi and dishes.
Brunson, three-pointer, puts it in! Captain Clutches come alive! Evelyn here at Madison Square Garden.
We're not just giving up. We don't want to give up ever.
The Knicks come back. What a wild finish!
We lost. We blew it. Let's respond for Game 2.
All we want to do is make the city proud.
Shannon, a three-pointer. It's good!
But it's always special when you give your fans something to cheer for.
You win here, everybody will remember. Trust me. I know.
Welcome back to New York City. Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Popeyes. Let's send it to Knicks Piano.
The head coach for the Knicks, Mike Brown. Let's play ball.
Well, the Knicks have won 8 straight and trying to go up 2-0. The Cavs just 2-6 on the road, but 2 very big victories. They've shown they can win on the road. They're ready to bounce back as we're ready to send it to Lisa Salters. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Mike. Well, James Harden has been at the center of a lot of scrutiny over the last 48 hours because of his defense down the stretch in Game 1. But the Cavaliers have really rallied behind him. After the Knicks went 9 for 15 from the floor in the fourth quarter in overtime with Harden as the primary defender, Mike Brown said in the post-game press conference, there's no secret, we were attacking Harden. And Harden acknowledged, yes, he struggled, particularly defending Jalen Brunson, saying, quote, he's a great one-on-one player. I think anybody on an island, it's going to be difficult. We have to do a better job of making sure he sees bodies. We have to do a better job as a team because it's not a one-man job. Kenny Atkinson agrees. He said he was disappointed with the Cavs' backline defense, the low guy, not coming over to contest. Everyone is putting it on James, Atkinson said, but at this level, it's team defense. Atkinson said he did have a conversation with the future Hall of Famer. His message to Harden, without you, we would have gotten knocked out in the first round. Keep being yourself. Mike?
All right, Lisa, speaking of Kenny Atkinson, here's what he had to say back in the locker room before tonight's Game 2.
Let's think about that. Focus on 1 or 2 things individually that can help your individual performance and help the team's performance. So let's dominate the first 5 minutes. Let's come out smoking, all right? Let them feel us right off the bat, all right? Come on, man. Play basketball. Get over, hit singles. Come on, Evan, what do you got?
Together, 1, 2, 3, together.
Well, the morning after Game 1, fans of both teams probably woke up the next day and said, did that really happen? It was such a wild game. Guys, we talk about carryovers. Sometimes losses can have a carryover. This is a pretty veteran Cavalier team. I don't expect a big carryover. How about you, Lex?
I think they focus on what they did well in that game. Offensively, they were excellent for about 30 minutes of that game. Defensively, excellent for about 40 minutes, RJ. That's what they have to rely on.
Knicks, meanwhile, again,